What's up, vinyl community? I'm Robert Fithen. Just got back from Memphis again. Go there a lot. Love it. And you might have seen my video from last year when I did some record finds in Memphis. But this video is a little bit different. This one is all about the laughably overpriced vinyl records of Memphis, Tennessee antique malls. And wow, there was a lot of them. These are all from different antique malls, all from different booths. There's only a couple of times where there's two records that'll be shown from the same booths. But, I started seeing these early on and I just thought, man, I got to make a whole video of this. I've shown like little pictures in other videos of some laughably overpriced stuff. But this one, an entire video of just overpriced records from different antique malls in Memphis, different booths. And there is one ray of light. There is one booth in one antique mall in Memphis that was awesome. And I will get to that more towards the end of the video. But first, let's start with just some modestly overpriced stuff. Just modest, little overpriced. Like K-Tel albums that you can usually get for $1, now $15. $9 Village People albums. You never see Barbra Streisand albums ever. This is a steal at $15. Let's check out this Herb Alpert and Tijuana Brass. Never see him anywhere either. $9 for this beat-up copy of Sounds Like. That's a rare find. Leif Garrett, it is in the shrink. Sorry, it doesn't have the full color poster. It's about a $2 album that no one would even want for $2. Let's see, it's going for $14. Well, not really going, it's staying for $14, I should say. The Monkees, you see them everywhere. This is their debut. It's the reissue with Papa Gene spelled correctly, monophonic version. I've got like 3 of these. Great album. This one's all kind of scuffed up. There's some scratches on it too, big scratches actually. And they are wanting $33.69 for it. 69. Let's see some more expensive albums or what they want for this. Here's Pink Floyd The Wall. It just looks like a basement wall with all the watermarks on it and the mold and everything. $45 for that. This Kiss Destroyer that looks like it's been through a tornado. $15 for that. The record doesn't look any better. Black Sabbath Paranoid is even worse. Completely ruined cover, both sides. $12 for that. Great price, but who would want... People wouldn't even want to take this in their house. It's got so much mold on it. And the record, too. Look at that label. Look at that mold right there on the record. Yeah, going to pass on that. Aretha Franklin. Don't even bother with the album cover. The record is actually cracked. All scratched up. You know, $5 for that. Yeah, and not to be outdone by Stevie Wonder, Down to Earth. What the hell is this? Some old masking tape all the way around the record. I don't even know what that was for. Yeah, I'm going to put that back and I'll leave that for you to buy. Here is The Doors. Rare cover. What is this? I've never seen that. Oh, well, it's actually the best of The Doors, the 1985 compilation. Double album set gatefold. This is only half the gatefold, though. Yes, somebody cut the gatefold out. $35 for half a gatefold Doors album. Man, at this point, you know, it really is getting kind of tedious. You know what I mean? It's not... I'm glad I was able to encapsulate a lot of this and just show you a few examples to make what's hopefully a somewhat entertaining video. But you got to imagine 2 days of just driving around antique mall after antique mall thinking, maybe this is the one, and then just more overpriced nonsense. I mean, and then, of course, you've got the rows and rows and rows of 101 strings and, you know, the Al Martino, Andy Williams, you know, that kind of Al Hurt, you know, all that stuff, just record after record. Those are all even overpriced, even if you wanted them. But yeah, it really did get a little bit, you know, it started to get a little frustrating, believe me. But I do have... I will show some records that I did get for $5 each at this incredible booth. There was one, so don't forget that is coming up. But now, more ridiculously priced records. Want you to buy an 8-track. They're still sealed today. Looks like somebody must have been working for MCA. I won't do that again, I promise. $10 box. I remember the dollar boxes, and these were the records that were in them. Yeah, now they're a $10 box. Maybe it meant $10 for the whole box. It doesn't say each. I'm thinking $10 for the whole box of this, not a $10 family of classical music thing. Wow, T.G. Shepherd and Larry Gatlin, you never see them anywhere. George Strait, I love the country stuff that usually goes for $1. This one going for $35 for his greatest hits. Ozzy Osbourne, I had to look this one up on Discogs because I've had this for a long time. I don't know the price, but it's like a $25 album in good condition. This one, beat up, try $50. $50 for Diary of a Madman in terrible condition. Here's another Doors album. Now this one, wow, only $28. That's a decent price for their debut, as long as it's in great condition, maybe a first pressing. This is actually really rare. This is the Doors album that actually comes with Tommy James and the Shondells' Hanky Panky record inside, so a very rare version of the Doors' first album. And the Rolling Stones, Some Girls, the Under Construction inner sleeve, so this is like a third or fourth pressing, $100.97. Now, you may have seen my last video about ridiculously overpriced new records, and I got some comments like, well, you know, you're just jealous because you can't afford those. Yes, I'm absolutely jealous because I cannot afford a $100 Rolling Stones album this time around. And my favorite, well, if you don't like the price, you don't have to buy it. It's real simple, dude. It's real simple. Word to your mother. Yeah, but this is what I was talking about with the overpriced new stuff, how it trickles down, and it doesn't matter if you do or don't buy it. It affects everyone because people see that nonsense across the board, you know, not just one, not just Analog Productions or whoever, just everybody, and it trickles down to the antique malls, and you end up with this nonsense. Meet the Beatles. Let's see how much this is. It's an okay cover. It's got obviously some scuffs on it or whatever, and let's see how much they want for this. For the label that's, you know, ripped up, somebody's name is on it as well, got some scuffs on there. $100 for their first album. It's not their first album. It's not even their first American album. Not Kenny G. Here's a $2 record. $2 record for this. What do they want for Kenny G? Try $40 firm. They're tired of people walking up going, will you take a buck? It's not even the Kenny G Tone Poet. Here's some children's records that I guess were part of a preschool one time. You have to return this to the office when you're done. So put it back. It's got writing all over it. You got Grover here. Looks like $30 for Cookie Monster. And, you know, Grover's going for, well, $30 as well. Because kids love records. They love just something with no visual. And it just goes around and around. They're all about it. Here's a whole bunch of overpriced records. I won't bother showing you all of them. Let's just show you the Love Beach from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Usually people just want this because they want to make a funny video, make fun of the cover. It's not a $14 joke, though. Here's another weird cover. Matt Davis bare-chested with a foot on him. $6 if you want to make a joke about that. Can anybody name one song on that? Didn't think so. This is interesting. Kiss's Creatures of the Night. I don't know if this is overpriced, but $12 for a cassette. I found out that the reissue LP is the original cover with the remix sound. That makes no sense. Yes, you know, decent album. You know, I have this. Love this album. It's probably my favorite Yes album. Love that Your Move song. Yeah, scuffed up. It's got dirt on it. It's scratched. And well, it looks like an early pressing though, and they're wanting, let's see here, $37.97 for that scuffed up, scratched up, dirty Yes album. Not to be outdone by the $1 Christopher Cross album. Not so much $1 here though, more like $22 for Christopher Cross. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, I did find some great finds in one antique mall, in one booth only. And incredible. Everything was $5. Didn't matter. Every record was $5, and there was stuff in there that I could not even believe was in there. Let me show you some of the things I found. A first pressing of Neil Young's Tonight's the Night. It kind of looks a little faded or whatever. That's because this is an original pressing that's on blotter paper. So a lot of them look like this over time. But this is actually a rare first pressing. The dead wax on side 2 says Export Goodbye Waterface, which usually they just say goodbye Waterface without the export word. So it's kind of a rare first pressing of this. Sounds great. Awesome. Love this Neil Young album. Never had it on vinyl before because I always heard that it's kind of a longer album, so it doesn't sound that great on vinyl. No, it sounds amazing. $5. $5 for Alice Cooper Killer. I already had this, but mine, somebody had ripped off where it's perforated, the calendar that comes with it. This one actually has the calendar intact. Now, I don't know, maybe Chris from Record Talk can tell us how long we'd have to wait for this 1974 calendar to come back into, oh, it's gonna tear off again, come back into play there. But yeah, Killer from Alice Cooper, already had it. This is a great copy, and like I said, has the calendar. $5. Aerosmith's Debut. This is not a first pressing, it's a second pressing. This is not the Acid Bust Walk in the Dig version, but it is obviously the one with the first cover and everything. So this is a second pressing of this. Again, great condition this was in. Now let me just pause here. Again, all these are $5, and just say all of these had to be cleaned. That was the thing. They were all covered in fingerprints and smudges and scuffs and things like that. The scuffs weren't audible. But let me tell you more about this booth here. This booth, I found out later, was actually run by Goner Records in Memphis, which is a great record store. It was my favorite record store the last time I went. I found that Mustache on Your Face single. I mean, it was like incredible find. I bought a Stooges album there, bought a bunch of stuff there. Best record store in Memphis, in my opinion. I found out that this booth in this antique mall, which is the Quantum Antique Gallery, there's their card, okay? Just the one booth. This is actually Goner Records overstock. This is the stuff they didn't want to put in the store. They didn't want to bother cleaning it. Some of the records are scratched, so you got to watch out. You got to look at the records if you go into this particular booth. You've got to take the record out and look at it. You got to know the difference between smudges and fingerprints and actual scratches. Okay, don't get the ones with the scratches, obviously. But the smudges and the fingerprints came off brilliantly with my Humming Guru ultrasonic cleaner and the whole method I use with that. They sound great, the ones I've heard so far. $5 a piece. Goner Records is an awesome store, and this just makes them more awesome. Thank you so much, Goner Records, for this booth, because if it wasn't for this, I would have left Memphis empty-handed when it comes to vinyl records. $5. Kiss Unmasked. Again, full of fingerprints and whatever. They all came completely clean. Sounds great. I've never had this in any format before. So great to finally have this. I did a video about Kiss. I don't remember what happened, but my level of interest as a kid for Kiss went from Dynasty, you know, when all the other earlier stuff, it was up here. I was a Kiss fanatic. Something happened. I don't remember what, but by the time Unmasked came out, I didn't care anymore. So I didn't have this on anything. So great to finally have that after all these years. Michelle Shocked. Short Sharp Shocked. Couldn't believe I found this for $5. Never had this before either. Had a friend that had the CD, heard it all the time, but never actually. I don't know. This is my first Michelle Shocked anything. Paul McCartney and Wings for $5 for Red Rose Speedway with the pages intact and everything. It looks great, just like the Alice Cooper. Even if the record wasn't good, which this is, just for that, that's worth $5 if you have a bad cover with a good album. You switch them out. Jefferson Airplane, the live album. Bless its pointed little head with Jack Cassidy there passed out. Had this on CD for years. First time I ever had this on vinyl. This is actually the hard vinyl. So this is a great copy of this because usually the early versions of this are on Dynaflex. This is the only pressing that's on the harder vinyl. Got the Tales of Mystery and Imagination for Edgar Allan Poe from the Alan Parsons Project. This is their debut, again, with the booklet and everything, and even the onion paper completely intact. The only thing is, it has somebody's initials here. That's it. $5. Everything else sounds great. Another CD that I've had for years and years, never had on vinyl before, The Faces, and Not As Good As a Wink to a Blind Horse. This is the one with Stay With Me on it. Love this album. Glad to finally have a record of this. And B.B. King. He's hard to find cheap. Found him for $5. Just had to wipe it off and clean it. Haven't heard it yet, but I'm assuming it sounds just as good as the rest. This is B.B. King in London. One of his great, ABC when he had that run in the early 70s. This is part of that. And finally, it was Memphis. I did find an Elvis Presley record that I did not have before. It's a soundtrack to Frankie and Johnny, the stereo one. I had the mono one previously. This is in pretty good condition as well. It's my goal to get all the Elvis records eventually. I've got I think 16 left to get, and you might think, 16, that's a lot. Elvis Presley has quite a history of releases. I want to get all the RCA originals, obviously. I want to get even the big compilations, and I've got 16 left to get to have absolutely everything. So yeah, Frankie and Johnny. This is I think this is the only soundtrack that I didn't have a first pressing in stereo of. So it was great to find this. This has got a lot of Mississippi riverboat type music on it. So it was great to have that St. Louis Memphis connection here and find this in Memphis. Of course, with Elvis Presley records, it's all about the price because there's so many overpriced Elvis stuff. Like this, Elvis Sings Hits from His Movies Volume 2. This is a cheap Camden release, about a $2 record. This doesn't even have the cover, and it's all beat up. They want $13 for it. But there's a lot of respect in Memphis for... Okay, well, not everyone respects Elvis Presley in Memphis, obviously. So forget I said that. This is a cheap record, but the record is all messed up. The cover, obviously. And then behind that, Rush 2112. Another one that looks like it's been soaked in something. The cover completely ruined. The record is in bad condition as well. They're wanting $20 for this. Why not just make it $21.12, you know, and be funny with it? The Doors found an analog productions of The Doors, The Soft Parade. They want $99 for this, but the sticker says MFSL. Please take that sticker off before somebody's head just explodes. So I did find one booth, incredible finds. Like I said, if you find this booth, and I did leave stuff there. I want to mention that too. Frank Zappa and the Mothers, we're only in it for the money. David Bowie, found all kinds of stuff like you would never expect to see in a $5 booth. I left them there because I already had those. I want you to go find them. I'm not the kind of person that just starts picking and vulturing through stuff. Is vulturing a verb? It is now. I don't like that. I like to leave stuff for other people to find that I already have so somebody else can have that experience too. I'm not big into the like, ooh, I can flip this, I can flip that, I can flip this. I left them there. Go check it out. I don't know the number of the booth, but again, it's the Quantum Antique Gallery, Memphis. It is actually a Garner Records overstock. Again, take the record out and look at it. Make sure that it doesn't have scratches on it, because there were some there that had that. You want to just get the ones with the smudges and the fingerprints that can easily be wiped off. A few scuffs that maybe not, you know, a scuff across it doesn't look good, but you know, you can't hear it. Not a big, you know, big broad scuff, just a little, you know, hairline thing. But yeah, thank you so much to Garner Records for not only having a great store, my favorite record store in Memphis, not even a close second, but for having this booth at that antique mall, because otherwise, like I said, I would have left Memphis completely empty-handed. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Robert Fithian. Please subscribe if you haven't done that. I've got an Instagram if you want to follow me there, Robert Fithian Vinyl on Instagram. Like the video if you liked it. And yeah, good times, man, with these... just driving around and around and around Memphis, just looking at overpriced records. It really did start to get a little bit tedious after a while. Thank you so much for watching. Keep those great vinyl community videos coming.